Look at my little horns. I don't even know.
Oh, and then we had a baby. They told us it was. She told us it was choking, but it was
We're
fine.
on the live now. Hip and all.
I mean, that's not personal information.
I'm just kidding. Look at my hair. I don't know these little horns.
Is Katie on?
Katie.
Where's Landon?
He went back to your desk.
Ah.
Where's Katie?
Did Braden and Amy come pick him up? Or?
No, it's here too.
Katie! Katie, where are you?
Katie! Somebody message her.
I don't have my phone.
She does.
My phone's in the kitchen.
Mine is too.
Wrong, Ollie.
If he knocks over the computer.
I don't. Or, I mean, I don't even know.
We're just going straight back and forward.
Cut?
Ow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's what all this.
I need to go
is.
see Sherry.
Yeah. Cherry.
Say, Sherry.
Are you snapping her? Can you not just text?
Shara's doing it.
Oh. Who are you snapping?
Cash App?
Amy and Nikita.
Sierra's Miss Popularity. Nobody's on here.
You're not snapping Denise?
I sent it, but it doesn't say that it's delivered.
Where's Katie?
Oh, good job, Ollie. Good job.
Katie.
Katie?
Maybe for
Katie, where are you?
Katie?
I'm still thinking about switching my sleep schedule, but I'm not doing it.
The wireless customer you are calling is not available. Please try again later.
Is her
Alex
phone
still
turned
there.
off? Katie. You can't watch the book without a phone.
No, come here. And now sit.
Are you FaceTiming?
Yeah.
We're waiting on Katie. Hey, she's not here.
Sit.
And Landon. Landon's not here, but I don't know if he's going to be here.
Is he ever? Well, he is sometimes.
Yes, a couple times.
Hey, not on the couch.
Are you calling her on Messenger?
No.
FaceTime.
Oh.
Deborah.
She's not answering.
Rude. She didn't answer.
Sit.
Well, we might have to just start without her.
She didn't answer your text either?
Not yet.
Sit.
Who did you call that went? Beep, beep, beep?
Okay.
First, it said she was unavailable.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait. Deborah.
Maybe
Deborah,
her
go get
phone
it. Good boy, Ollie.
She's
Good
going to send you a
boy.
screenshot and say,
Good,
Mom.
Ollie. Good, Ollie.
Sorry, I feel like I cut my lip.
Sit.
We're really exciting.
Let it go. Hey.
Subscribe to our channel down below.
Let it go.
Hit the
Oh, you like
subscribe
that?
button.
I'm like the Joker looking at two
No.
smiles. Look at that.
We finally got to play D&D tonight for the first time in like a month.
That's awesome.
And the actual campaign for the first time in like 2.
Woo!
Okay, what are we doing?
I guess we'll go because
Okay, go.
She might already be asleep.
She might be sleeping. I mean, she did have a busy day with the band concert and all.
Yeah.
It's hard to be in the audience.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really weird. I feel squished. I got people sitting on me.
Well, I can't.
Like, you can sit next to my legs, but do you all
Ever.
have to sit on my actual
Well, I can't
legs?
sit very far over and then I'll land in the next room.
Oh, this one is hard for me to read. Okay.
Help the herdmans.
Herdsmen.
Well, it says herdmans.
Well, herdmans.
It's
Well,
in
that's
the stable.
Herdmans is their name is Herdman. Anyway, you'll see. The Herdmans. That's their name. The Herdmans. This is the best Christmas pageant. I should just stop.
She's
now.
retiring for the season.
Okay, wait a minute.
What?
No.
Oh, I opened the wrong one.
She opened the wrong one. This is today. We need to read We need to read
Sierra.
yesterday's book first.
Yeah.
Which is good because that one is a
We
little
was out of town.
in the field.
So we didn't get a chance to read our book.
So what are we getting for Christmas?
Nothing.
It's
Oh. Oh. It's not Katie? Well, that's sad.
Amy. Because apparently Dad can't. Never mind. I'm not gonna say. Never mind.
We'll talk about
Hi,
you.
Katie and Landon. I don't know if you're on. If you are, hi.
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 Sierra's slowly unwrapping the book.
The Little Christmas Tree.
The Little Christmas Tree is less emotional than the Best Christmas Pageant. It's in there.
Shake and bake.
Come on, Sierra. I'd like to read today. We're already 5 minutes into this. We haven't started the book yet.
What is this one called?
The Little Christmas
It's
Tree.
The Little Christmas Tree. I'm trying to. There it is. I found it.
Oh, look, there it is.
The Little Christmas Tree. Sugar cone trees.
Yay!
Yay.
Y'all know what those are. They're yummy. All right, this is the Little Christmas Tree. Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Ta-da! Be good listeners. Good listeners have eyes watching, ears listening, voice quiet, body still. Everybody ready? Ready. Ready, set? You bet. That is not body still. Be still.
Are you having a seizure? No.
Sierra's throwing a tantrum.
Are you being a good listener? No,
I
you're
guess
not.
it's Amy.
No, because I got it too.
That might have been me.
Oh my goodness.
Why does all my.
Okay.
Ahem.
Once there was a fir tree that grew at the edge of the forest. Behind it, the great pines towered, and an oak tree spread its shadow far and wide. Birds built their nests in the pines, squirrels ate the nuts and acorns, children had even built a tree house in the oak, but nobody, not even a mouse, thought the fir tree was useful. It was just too little. The little tree hated being so small. It felt as if nobody took it seriously. Someday I'll show them, the fir tree thought, but it didn't know how. Oh yeah, I do this. See, it's a little fir tree right there. Poor little tree. One day, 2 hares, those are rabbits, came over the meadow to the edge of the forest. Hey, take a look at that, cried one, pointing to the fir tree. We can use that for jumping practice. It's just the right size.
Just right.
Ollie, did you eat the head off of that thing?
Can we focus on the book? The hare got a running start and took a great leap right over the fir tree. The little tree was green with anger, but no matter how high it stretched, it couldn't even reach the fur on their bellies with its needles. Just you wait, it thought. Someday I'll show you. I just didn't know how.
When you outlived them, probably. Because they're rabbits.
Shh. Good listeners. Voice quiet. Another time a hedgehog came by. She was in a terrible mood. She'd been rummaging through the nearby house's compost pile, and now her spines were all messy, covered in potato peelings, bread crusts, even a salami wrapper.
Ew.
Ew. Yeah. I'm still sitting weird. Okay, anyway. When she saw the fir tree, she exclaimed, "Oh my! That tiny little tree is just the right size." And before the fir tree could pull back its needles, the hedgehog scooted in among its branches and scraped off all the mug. The fir tree trembled with fury. Just you wait, it thought, wobbling its tender green tip. Someday all of you will see what I can do. But still, it didn't know how. Hold this for a second. I'm going to scooch around. I'm uncomfortable reading this story. Aha! In the laundry room. She can stand there. In autumn, the air grew chilly. A cold wind blew down the branches and stripped the leaves from the trees. Only conifers like the pine... Only conifers like the pines and fir trees stayed green. The animals were out enjoying the last of the sunshine before snow covered the fields. And then came winter. Snow fell for 3 days. The little tree stood mournfully at the edge of the meadow. Every once in a while, it would shiver the snow from its branches so it didn't completely disappear in the drift. One bright morning, the little tree heard the crunch, crunch of footsteps. It was a boy named Peter and his father. They were looking for the perfect tree to cut down and take home for Christmas. Peter ran up to the fir tree. "This one," he cried. "This one here? It's so small," his father said. "Not for me. For me, it's just the right size," said Peter. His father laughed out loud. "You're right. It is beautiful, and it is exactly your size, but it would be a shame to cut it down when it's still so young." He thought for a moment. "I know. What if we brought decorations out here to the forest? We wouldn't have to cut the tree, and it could keep growing as you keep growing. Every year it could be your own wild Christmas tree the same size as you." "Oh, yes," said Peter.
Oh,
"Aww.
good idea, Dad.
Good idea, Dad." That very afternoon, Peter came back to the forest with his parents. They pulled a sled with a big box on it. From the box, they took wonderful red and deep blue glass balls and hung them on the fir tree's branches. The tree took great care not to drop a single ball. There wasn't enough room for all the balls, so Peter set the rest in a ring around the base of the tree. Oh, look how pretty. See how pretty? Well, Ollie, thank you for sharing that. Finally, Peter fastened a gold star on the top. The star was quite heavy, but the fir tree was so proud that it didn't bend a bit. "Wonderful," said the father. "Really, just the perfect size for you," said the mother. "It's the most beautiful Christmas tree I've ever seen," Peter said.
Oh.
Aww. The next day, all the animals came to see the little Christmas tree. They were awed by its beauty. The fir tree knew it had finally shown them that it was indeed just the right size for something truly special. Oh. Oh. Everybody say oh.
Oh.
Every year at Christmas time, Peter came back. Every year, Peter and the fir tree grew a little bigger, but no matter how tall the tree grew, even when it towered over Peter's head, it stayed just the right size. And the fir tree remained the most beautiful Christmas tree for Peter his whole life long.
That's so
Oh, look at that.
That's so cool.
The end. Yay for the little Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yay, Ollie.
now we're going to pretend like Shine just opened it. December 12th, help the Herdmans get to the stable. The best Christmas pageant ever. Whew, this one's, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
No feels. Just read. I don't like this little horn thing in my hair. Go down, little horn thing. Okay. Anyway. The Herdmans were the worst kids in the history of the world. They lied and stole and played with matches. They were so awful you could hardly believe they were real. They're bad.
To the bone.
Naughty kids. There were 6 of them. Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and Gladys. They were skinny and stringy-haired and dirty in all different sizes, with all different black and blue places where they had clunked each other. They lived over a garage, and when they didn't have anything else to do, they would bang the garage door up and down to try to squash each other, or the mailman, or the crazy one-eyed cat. Everybody stayed away from them.
They sound like us.
Not quite. Then one day they showed up in Sunday school. They stole all the money out of the collection plate and drew mustaches on everybody in the Bible. And though nobody knows how, they took over our annual Christmas pageant. Our Christmas pageant is always the same. Kids in bathrobes and bed sheets acting out the story of Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus being born. Everybody knows the story. Everybody but the Herdmans. That didn't stop them from picking out the best parts for themselves. I'll be Mary, Imogene yelled, and Ralph, he'll be the Joseph. Everyone else was afraid to volunteer. That left 3 herdmans, Leroy, Claude, and Ollie, to be the wise men, and the worst herdman of them all to be the angel of the Lord. Me, Gladys hollered. I'll be that.
What is it?
No, I don't even like these kids. And so then somebody had to read the whole story to them about the star and the shepherds and how there was no room in the inn and how the baby Jesus slept in a manger. The herdmans were shocked. They stuck them out in the barn, Imogene yelped, and they tied Jesus up in rags and put him in a feed box. At least we put Gladys in a bureau drawer. Then they heard about the wise men bringing gifts of oil and frankincense. Claude said, "What good is smelly oil? If we're the wise men, let's bring pizzas." Every year, someone lent us their baby to be Jesus. Not this year. Nobody would trust a herdman to take their baby, so Imogene offered to steal one from the supermarket. There's always babies in carts there, she said. Let's forget about a baby, someone said. We used a doll instead. Every rehearsal was an adventure. Leroy wanted to chase the mean innkeeper out of town, and Claude and Ollie wanted to run off with the baby to keep him safe. Imogene said she wouldn't name him Jesus, she would name him Bill, and she wouldn't let the wise men worship him. "Get away from that baby," she barked at them. "You might have germs." When Gladys found out that the angel of the Lord appeared out of nowhere in the black of night, she was sure it was out of Amazing Comics. "Shazam!" she yelled, smacking the kid next to her. Gladys liked to smack things. Our Mary was loud and bossy, the wise men were sneaky, and the angel of the Lord came from outer space. This was going to be the worst Christmas pageant ever. Some people wanted to cancel the whole thing. The minister said, "I don't think anyone will come to see it." But they were all wrong. Everybody came just to see what the herdmans would do. When the curtain opened, Ralph and Imogene stood in the wings frozen, as if they weren't sure what to do. They weren't pushing or hitting or being herdmans. The chorus waited and hummed and waited, like an old refrigerator. When they finally came in, Imogene had slung the baby Jesus doll over her shoulder. Then she thumped it on its back twice, hard. There was a gasp. It didn't seem right to burp the baby Jesus, but that was the whole point of Jesus. He was a real person, and he started out as a baby. His parents were real too, as real as Imogene with her veil all crooked and Ralph with his hair sticking out, as if they had slept in their clothes out in the barn, just like in the real story. Then came Gladys from behind the shepherds, shoving them out of the way and stepping on everyone's feet. "Hey!" she yelled. "Unto you a child is born. He's in the barn." She made it sound like it was the best news in the world. Right behind Gladys came the wise men, but they didn't have the usual frankincense and gold and oil, and they didn't have a pizza. Instead, Leroy was carrying something big and heavy. It was a ham from the herdman's food basket. The church gave them one every year. The herdmans had never before given anything away except clunks on the head, so you had to be impressed. The herdmans were giving baby Jesus their Christmas ham. Then the wise men were supposed to leave and go home, but instead they just sat down. Actually, it seemed like the right thing to do. After all, they had come a long way, and you wouldn't expect them to just hand over the ham and leave. It seemed natural, too, to burp a baby who might be fussy or tired, and for someone to tell people where the baby was so they wouldn't have to wander all over the place. Somehow, every wrong thing the Herdmans did seemed right and natural.
Hush.
There we go. And then as everyone sang Silent Night, Imogene started to cry. In the candlelight, her face was all shiny with tears. Awful old Imogene, in her crooked veil, crying as if Christmas had just come over her all at once. When everyone left the church that night, it was cold and clear, with crunchy snow underfoot and bright, bright stars in the sky. Everyone said there was something different this time, something special, and though nobody could say exactly what that something was, everyone agreed it was the best Christmas pageant ever. The end. Yay! That one is all the feels.
All the feels.
Well, I don't
Alright.
think anybody's there, but goodbye if anybody watches later.
Good night. We
Hit
love
the
you.
subscribe button on the bottom.
Bye.
Bye. All right.